Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. I want to make a quick video. I had a subscriber ask me a good question. He said, Scott, you like those easy detail brushes? And I was reading, I don't know what company he was reading information about the easy detail brush, how the company says, or maybe it wasn't the company itself, but the company that sells their product says that they don't scratch wheels. And so he asked me, he said, Scott, do they scratch wheels? Do these easy detail brushes with these bristles scratch wheels? And I thought it was a really great question because I'll tell you why. Unfortunately, in mobile detailing or auto detailing, a lot of companies or companies that represent them will make some pretty outrageous claims. And the reason why we're honing in on this Lexus wheel is because I have seen an issue and I've been using the easy detail brush for a long time. I love it. I'm not saying throw it away. I love it. It's staying in my arsenal. But there's something we have to realize. On this Lexus wheel here, this happens to be chrome, but it's got a clear coat on it. This clear coat, for whatever reason, is awfully sensitive. It's awfully scratch sensitive is a better word for it. And if I use these easy detail brushes on it, I will start to see small little scratches along the clear coat on this chrome coated wheel. So I wanted to be honest and completely transparent that yes, these easy detail brushes, depending on what type of wheel you're cleaning, again, you got to remember, not all clear coats are created the same. Some of them are more scratch sensitive than others, and it's just the way it works. Now somebody's going to say, well, I use a wheel woolly, and I've got some wheel woolies and they work fine. I just have an issue with it because this spoking on this tire is awfully tight. It's awfully close, and every little fourth hole here is really tight. I can just barely get my finger in that hole. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we get here 5. So maybe every fifth spoke is really, really tight to be able to get even this small easy detail brush in that hole. And what I find with the wheel woolies is, one, it might go in there, but it's made out of wool, I guess. That's what they call it, right? A wheel woolly. And I really can't get a lot of agitation when I'm working in a tight area like that. What I like about the easy detail brush, although it's scratching, and I'll tell you how I avoid that altogether, but once it gets through that hole, it expands and allows me to be able to agitate the inside barrel a little bit better than a wheel woolly. I'm not knocking a wheel woolly. They're great products. Everything's got its pros and cons, right? That's life, unfortunately, on this planet. But my point is going to be, this car here happens to be mine, happens to be my wheel, so I need to be extra diligent about keeping it clean and keeping the brake dust off it. And the reason why I bring that up is because I don't want to use these brushes all the time on my wheel, so I need to be a lot more diligent to keep the scratches off so I'm not forced to use these things. So what I do is, again, you guys all know I'm a big fan of Meguiar's Wheel Brightener. It's an acid-based wheel cleaner. I understand that really gets people upset, and I get it, I understand it. But for me, in my world, and it works this way for a lot of my customers' cars too, because the spoking could be so tight, so narrow, I need a cleaner that I can get my nozzle inside there and hit the inside barrel and instantly begin to break down brake dust on contact. Yes, I can use like CarPro, Iron X, but here's the deal with that stuff. One, it's very expensive by the gallon. It doesn't make sense for me on a business point of view. It's also not dilutable, so I'm not stretching my dollar. This stuff here will also remove, if I've got any light water spots from the last time I washed it that got on here, this will remove it. So in my world, this acid-based cleaner, although it's not friendly to me or to the planet, I'm not naive to that, just makes sense for me. But I'm still going to have to make sure I clean these tires at least once a week or once every other week, depending on how I drive it. And I've been doing it for a long time with not having to push these wheel woolies inside here because I'm being diligent and I'm getting to the brake dust relatively soon. Yes, I suppose you could use soap and water to do that, but sometimes brake dust will not break down with just soap and water alone. So you're going to need to have something to be able to break that brake dust down, to break it down. So you have to figure out, is it Iron X that makes sense to you? An acid-based wheel cleaner, especially on a wheel like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to spray this cleaner. Come on, nozzle, give me something. I'm going to spray this cleaner, and I'll show you why I love it, especially for this wheel with the spokes being so tight, is I can spray this stuff on the wheel. It's instantly breaking down the brake dust that's on it. I don't have any issues with it. It's just doing it well for me. Again, it's a well-maintained tire, but I have to maintain it or else I'm going to have to use a wheel woolly, that's not going to be all that effective, even if I can get it through the spoke, or use this and potentially scratch the wheel. Then I can turn my nozzle to the spray setting, and I can really start hammering the barrels of the wheels as well, and make sure I get a lot of cleaner on there and break that brake dust down, so I don't even have to go in there and agitate. Again, I'm going to have to be diligent because of the tires that I have here. I need to use it more often and keep these tires on a regimen, if that kind of makes sense. So I'll do that, and then what I'll do is I'll just simply spray it down, and let's see if we get any nice results with that. And then I'll shoot there inside the wheel barrels with just this garden hose. I know it's only about 90 psi. If you used a power washer, boy, it would even be more effective for you. But you have to decide what works in your world. So for me, without even having to agitate the wheel, yes, to be completely transparent, I'm going to have to do this once a week, once every other week, or else I'm going to start getting brake dust that gets out of hand. I love the fact that I can simply spray that product on and rinse it off. It gets rid of all the brake dust. This wheel at this point in time is just completely popped right now. It's got plenty of gloss and shine. If I want to, I can use a very soft salt and pepper brush made by Nanoskin if I wanted to just agitate the front of this. Yes, even this brush here, I got to be a little careful with on this wheel because it will scratch a little bit. But again, I just wanted to make that video for that subscriber. Do these things scratch? Yes, depending on the wheel that you're using it on, it could. I just wanted to be completely transparent and then show you how I deal with the situation so that I limit my scratching this type of wheel. I'm just going to have to be more diligent. If you want to use CarPro, Iron X, whatever, that's fine. If you want to wait the 3 to 5 minutes for it to react, you want to buy something that's expensive by the gallon, that's not dilutable, that's fine. Just figure out what makes sense in your world. But I just wanted to make a quick video on how I maintain these wheels that have very tight spoking, and I'm concerned about scratching it. If let's say I went a month or 2 months, I'd have to be awfully aggressive. So I want to take that out of the equation, and that's why the Meguiar's wheel brightener just makes so much sense in my world with tires with really tight spoking. I hope that helps you guys out. I appreciate it. Love one another. Talk to you soon.